Hello everybody, I hope y'all are having a lovely day today. Today I'm going to be going over Spider-Man techs, combos, and some keybinds, as I wasn't really seeing anybody make in-depth guides for Spider-Man. To get started with, I'll give you some of my credentials, so to speak. I've played Overwatch since the Overwatch 1 beta, and I've played probably more than 1,000 hours on the game at this point, mainly on and off over the years. I'm a flex DPS player, with typically maining Genji. And I don't play comp too often, but when I do, I usually get high diamond, low masters. Start off with, let's go over some of his keybinds, because by default, his keybinds are very poorly arranged. A couple of the most important ones is going to be hold to wall crawl, putting that on, and automatic swing, turning it off. And I'll show you what automatic swing looks like by default. So basically, no matter where you put your cursor, it's just going to grab something and swing to it. Which, it can be helpful, like, at times, but for the most part, you don't really want that on, as it removes a whole other aspect of his kit that I'm about to show you right now. So let's turn that back off. So, automatic swing is off. So when you have automatic swing off, you do have to actually aim to swing, right? But the part of his kit that it removes when you have it on is essentially his dashes. If you're shooting your web at or below the vertical height that you're currently at, instead of swinging, you just go straight there. So that's what it looks like on the ground. That's what it looks like on the walls. And then this thing that I mentioned was hold to wall crawl. That is off by default, and you want that on because sometimes what will happen is you go to do a double jump, and it'll grab the wall, and then you're kind of stuck to it because you have to like hit the button again and jump off. But if you have hold the wall crawl on, when you double jump, if you ever grab a wall, it'll just do that, and then you can just do your double jump right after, because it does reset double jumps off walls even if you did waste it on accident. But those are some of the more important settings to enable or slash disable because of his movement. But the other settings are going to be tied to his abilities. Opinion is get over here targeting. This is his E by default. That it's set so when you have a web that you've shot someone with, if they're marked, you have to go to them. And if you don't mark them, you can pull them to you. But if you change the keybind, so one version of it is set to E, or whatever you put it as, and one is set to a different button, you can choose. So I can go like this, pull him to me, or I can go like this, pull myself to him. And by default, the only way to web them and pull them to you is to do it really quickly. Like that. That's what that would look like if you were on default settings. And then let's look at some of the other settings. I like having my web shooters on primary mouse button or left click, because that's the most important ability that he has. So you really don't want to be missing those. So you just put it on whatever your primary fire key is. That's the most comfortable key to fire with. And then his melee, I put it on my side mouse button. That's where I always put my melee. Put it wherever you're used to meleeing with. It doesn't really matter. And then his amazing combo, which is his uppercut, I like it on right click. You don't really have to have it there. You can put it wherever you want. I just think it's such an important ability that it should be on something you are easily hitting and not reaching over to F. I think it is by default. So those are his keybinds. Let's get into some of his techs. So what his techs are going to look like are swing cancels. There's a couple different ones that you can do. One would be an uppercut. So you uppercut at the end of your swing to keep all the momentum of it while still getting verticality. Because say I wanted to get up there, I could do a double jump, and it's going to barely get me here. But like, let's say I'm low health, I want to be able to dive these people as soon as possible. I could go all the way to that health pack. So instead of double jumping, I would do this. And then boom, now I'm full health, and now I'm in their backline ready to dive. And that's the benefit of doing that. 80% of the time, I would say, you use that tech as movement. Like, when people are chasing you, that is the hardest way for them to hit you. You're moving so fast, you're changing your vertical height, it's going to throw people off a lot. But you can use it as a means for damage. Like, say I wanted to go in, I kind of ran into him there, but you can kind of like crossfade people. So yeah, it's a little more tricky to do if you're trying to keep your momentum, but let's try one more time. So there you go, that's what that would look like. And then his next tech is going to be a dash cancel. So like I said, when you're shooting a web at the same level you're at or lower, you're going to do it like a dash like that. But at the end, when you're hitting the ground, you have like a cartwheel animation. During this animation, you cannot melee. Like that's, like here, I'll spam it. That's as soon as you can melee on this animation. So like say I'm shooting at a Luna Snow and she's low health and I want to go fight her, right? And it's like I would shoot it at her, but now I'm going past her and I'm meleeing. And yeah, you could get around that by going like this, and then boom, I'm right on her. But that's going to leave you very vulnerable to attacks from the front, as opposed to like if I'm up here already, I could just go like this and do the cancel, and I'm on her, she's took a web, and she's ready to be damaged again. So I'll show you one more time. So that's what that would look like. And that's the main time you're going to use it, is when you have someone who's low health, when you're like far away, and you see you got a web on them, you know they're low, you would go like this, so then you can get the finish as quickly as possible. But you can also use it to like start off combos, which I'll show you that in a little while. But the last tech you're gonna want to know is you can also cancel melee animations with the web shooter tech. So normally this is how fast you can melee attack, right? But you can melee web. Kind of mess it up there, but you just need to keep in mind that that kick is longer than your other two punches, which I kind of mess it up sometimes. But that's a really good combo to use on tanks, especially, and you want to make sure your web shooters are at 3 or 4 webs when you go to do that to a tank, and it's very good for like helping take them off of your supports. So typically say Venom's on my supports, I would pull him to me, and I would do something like that, and he's either going to hit E and try and keep fighting, or he's going to back off. If he backs off, then you can chase him, or whatever you want to do. But it's very good to burst people down. Like, you normally don't want to do it on squishies, just because it's much harder to hit them with all that, especially when they're moving, and especially if they're playing Mantis or Snow. They're just impossible to do that combo with. But let's get into some of his combos now. I'm going to start off showing you on a 250 HP target, like Spider-Man. And he's going to have an easy combo to do that I would only do if they're missing about a third of their health or more. Because it's going to leave them, on a 250 target, it's going to leave them with like 48 health, around 40 health. And you're going to need to either web them twice to finish them off, or you're going to have to do a big attack, melee attack like that, or just punch them regularly twice. So that combo, it's very good when they're already low. So like, say I know he's a third of his health, then I would want to shoot the web, go in, uppercut, and I'm going to get an easy, clean finish on him, and I can immediately disengage. So that's kind of when you want to use that one. The next combo that you're going to want to do, this is a skill shot combo. This pretty much guarantees a kill on anyone 300 health or less, but you shoot them, use the skill shot version of it, so not the automatic pull, but the skill shot. And you shoot them, pull them to you, melee them, shoot them again, and do an uppercut. And I'll put it all together so you can see how quick it bursts on the Spidey. And that's what that combo looks like. I'll do it one more time, actually, slow again. So, shoot, pull, melee, shoot, uppercut. Now, on a Punisher, or anyone 300 health, it's a little bit harder. Okay, you're going to want to add a little shot at the end. Either shoot them or melee them right at the end there to get the finish. And that's pretty much that combo. One other combo that I'm still a little bit rusty with, like I just learned about it a couple days ago, which is you implement this tech in and you do it initially. So how I would do it instead of finishing people off like I mentioned before is I would go in, And you would do something along the lines of that. Like just, you can pretty much do any of your combos that you want using your abilities, but you want to start off with by going in with a web like that and then shooting them and then meleeing them. Then you can either uppercut, do that, or you could go and do that. And those are his just basic combos that you need to know. The only thing left is when he's teamed up with a Venom, it does enable you to have easier combos. So I'll show you that right now. Because he gets this ability. In last quite a while, you just do a little bit of damage to people, knock people back. Has a long cooldown, 30 seconds. But if you implement it right, like you can basically just use it for free kills every team fight. And I'll show you it on a 250 HP target first, just because that's the easiest to do it on. So you're going to do just the easy combo I mentioned earlier, and at the very end, just hit C. Well, you can burst people down insanely quick with that. And then usually just cancel it and disengage if I did it like in front of their entire team. But that's how you do it on 250 HP. And I usually use that to go for 250 HP more than anyone else. But you can use it on somebody with 300, like a Punisher. Just what, like, see, it's much harder to do because they live with a little bit extra. And I even threw in an extra attack there. But typically on a Punisher, if you're gonna do it, you want to boop them up in the air like that, and then have them land on top of you, comboing into his ultimate. So his ultimate, I'm not sure how much damage it does exactly, but just by default, say I rushed into these 3 people, all right, with my ult. Say these are healers, and I go like this, they could potentially heal each other and live through that. Like, see, it took the whole thing to kill them, right? I'm gonna go to use my ultimate, and this is increase the amount of 3 to 4K ults that I've gotten with Spider-Man exponentially. Okay, so here's what it would look like when you theoretically web up the whole team into the uppercut into the ult. So you can kill much quicker when you do that than if you just ult all by itself. But that's pretty much it. And then there are some little niche ways like to fight people. Like, you don't really want to uppercut a Hela or a Punisher or a Magic when you're on the same level as them. So when you uppercut a Punisher, he's gonna stay, especially when he has a shotgun out, he's gonna stay at the same height as you, and that's gonna make it extremely easy for him to headshot you. But if you double jump before, now when he tries to shoot up at you, he's going to hit you in the body instead of in the head. It's going to be significantly harder for him to kill you. Same goes for Hela. Same goes for, actually Mantis as well. Same goes for Mantis, because she, especially with that damage boost, she can 2-tap you in the head. And she's a squishy and a healer, so you will tend to forget that she even does it, but she can also do it. So you always want to make sure to be in the air when you uppercut these people, unless you're doing the instant burst combos like I mentioned. Like, if you're doing that combo, you don't have to do it. Or if you're doing the Venom combo, then you don't really need to do it. But when you're just fighting them straight up, you have to. And Magic is another hero that it's very important to, because her sword will outrange your melees, especially after she hits shift. So like, when you're fighting a Magic, you wait for her to portal, then that's when you engage and go like this, and then just dash backwards, and she won't be able to hit you with a slash. Like, you'll be out of her range, because it's more horizontal that she has than vertical, especially after a portal. That's pretty much going to be it for this video. That's everything I know about Spidey so far. Want to see my playtime on Spidey? I can show you that real quick. 25 hours played, 17 on Spidey. Here's the stats. Want to look at that, but. And with that, thank you all for watching. It's been my pleasure educating you on Spidey's combos and techs and whatnot, and I hope you put them to good use.